Now as a country and nation, all rise for the national anthem. We stand here together, united with pride, beneath our flag, waving gallantly on high. Across the land our people did ride, noble steeds of steel. Against the tide, longboats and galleons, they bring our people home. The old gods, they called us to the sacred stones. Nomads together, no longer we roam. We reap the fruits of the seeds we sow, for from tiny acorns the mighty oak grows. We're busting out of the box, we're breaking the mold. We're no longer trusting the fairy tales we're sold. No longer buying the poisons we're sold. The men and women of Wayward are going back to the old. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As promised, we're going to go straight into another micronational review. Today we're going to be looking at the micronation of Ladonia. I'm sure I've said that right. Ladonia. And again, don't mean it. I have to say this every time. I feel I have to say this every time. I don't mean any offense. I honestly feel that it is just how I see it. It's just my perspective. So I do not mean any offense by what I'm saying. If you get offended by it, that's on you. It's not on me. I'm saying this with the most kind of... I'm trying to do this as fair as I can, and it's not my fault that some of the stuff that you yourself puts out there is a little bit controversial or hypocritical or doesn't make sense, or I struggle to understand it. Because if I'm not understanding what you're putting, there's millions of people that potentially in the world are just like me, and if only a handful of those people happen upon your websites or your micronation, they themselves are going to be just as, confused as I am. So just bear it in mind that the criticism I give should be more so of the constructive kind than as an offensive kind. Ladonia I've never really heard of. I'm just doing it because it was on the list. I have a little list of micronations I've seen upon my journey, and I write them down as I see them. And it's just on the list. So we're going to head over to Ladonia, and we'll see what they're up to over there. Now, again, if you're new to the micronational reviews, there is a playlist available, so you can check out all the other micronational reviews that we have done previously. And I just want to say, make sure you hang on to the end, because we do the summary at the end with the ratings and the conclusion of our review. You will have to take the footage with a pinch of salt. I try to edit it out, but it's so hard, or not edit it out. I try to edit it so as I'm talking, it is at the bit where I'm looking at on the screen. It just means that it's going to jump around a bit, simply because I have to crop it that way. When I do the review, my phone is one way, though I've just thought about it to myself right now where I could potentially turn my phone the other way. So maybe I can. We'll give this a go in a second, because the footage just doesn't fit in the screen. And as I'm scrolling up, it moves, and what I'm reading, you're not necessarily able to see, and I try to crop it, so you'll have to bear that in mind. But we may have actually just thought of a way to solve that issue if it works. We'll give it a go, but there's no promise of that. Again, make sure you get that subscribe button hit. Give us a like if you're enjoying the videos, and get the bell on, because the micronational reviews are going to be an ongoing thing. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you got your bell on to alert you whenever we upload a video over here doing a micronational review. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, then please do give me a comment. If you agree with what I'm saying, then again, give me a comment. And if you want to see me review a particular micronation, or you want me to review your micronation, then again, leave a comment below and I will get around to it eventually, I'm sure. If not, then just keep bugging me until I actually get on and do it, because I might forget, or I may just miss the message. Without further ado, let's jump on it. Let's just get straight into it and review Ladonia.
Right, so here we are on the wiki for the Royal Republic of Ladonia. Well, we've heard about these republics before, haven't we? So we'll see where this one takes us. I'm pretty sure that Ladonia is something to do with this art project, and that's all I really know about it. So Ladonia is a micronation proclaimed in 1996 as the result of a years-long court battle between artist Lars Vilks, I don't know if I've said that right, and local authorities over two sculptures. They claim territory as part of the natural reserve of Kullaberg in southern Sweden. So they're in Sweden. They've got their flag there and their coat of arms. I'm not sure if that's an overweight dragon. I'm guessing it's an overweight dragon with a heart and a golden apple on the coat of arms there. Their motto is to each his own. Okay, I like that. I actually strangely like that. Anyway, right, history. In 1980, artist Lars Vilks began construction of two sculptures. Nimis, Latin for too much, a structure made of 75 tons of driftwood. Mad. And Arx, Latin for fortress, a structure made of stone. Oh, you don't have the tonnage of that then? No? Okay. In the Kullaberg Nature Reserve in the northwest Skåne, Sweden. The location of the sculpture is difficult to reach, and as a consequence, they were not discovered for 2 years, at which point the local council declared the sculptures to be buildings, the construction of which was forbidden on the nature reserve, and demanded that they should be dismantled and removed. Despite the confrontations with the local council, a large percentage of the local community supports the sculptures, especially people working in the tourism industry. Vilks appealed the decision of the council, but lost. He appealed repeatedly, and finally the case was settled in the council's favour by the Swedish government. However, in the meantime, Nimis has been bought from Vilks by the artists Christo and Jean-Claude after the death of Joseph Beuys, who bought it in 1984. I'm confused. I know it doesn't take a lot. So they bought the sculptures from them in 1980. When did he make the sculptures? Have I missed that? In 1980. Okay. Right. Okay. Got you there. Right. So in 1984, someone bought it. Okay. And on June 1996, in a protest at the local council, Vilks declared the area surrounding Nimis an independent sovereign county named Ladonia. Okay. There's a picture here, actually. We'll have a look at that in a minute. In 1999, another sculpture. Another one. Right, so you're not really helping yourself now, are we? Let's be fair. Right, now you had me for a second. You had me on your side because I too have had my battles with councils and authorities, and my micronation was based around the same principle of, going up against authorities, if you like, for want of a better word. So I was kind of sympathetic and, supportive of your case. But you built these two structures. You've been told, nope, you're not allowed to do that. You've gone up against the council. In 1996, right? There was a protest at the local council. You declared the area surrounding it an independent sovereign nation. You did all of this in 1996, right? But then in 1999, you really didn't help yourself because then you built another sculpture. So you got Omphalos, named after Omphalos, a small sculpture in the Temple of Delphi, marking the centre of the world. It was created. Okay, it was made of stone and concrete. See, the driftwood one you had me, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the driftwood was pretty cool. But now you're not helping yourself, are you? You're just making it worse. Starting wars again that you shouldn't be starting. It was made of stone and concrete, 1.61 metres high and weighing a ton. I'm not even going to try to pronounce whatever that word is. I really kind of want to try now, though. The a foundation of some description formed to promote art and culture accused Vilks of building this sculpture and complained to the police. And in August 1999, the district council ordered its removal. Right, so it's supposed to be art. It was supposed to be art. But then a foundation that was formed to promote art accused him of building the sculpture and then phoned the police. Is that because they didn't see it as art? Are they the authority in art? I don't know who they are. I don't know who this the Crapper Cup Foundation is. I haven't got a clue. But they're saying that, nope, we need to phone the police. And in August 1999, the district council ordered its removal. The foundation had also The foundation had also demanded the removal of Nimis and Arx, but the court ruled against it. Okay, that's quite cool. All right, so the court ruled against it, so that's all right. Why has this foundation got a problem with it? The foundation appealed this decision to the Supreme Court, who eventually ruled against it. The police were unable to positively identify Wilkes as the sculptor, but the district court held that he was. Okay, I want to kind of know who these people are. Well, from what I could understand, or from what I've just Googled, they own a castle, and that's all I can really figure it out, is that they have a castle somewhere in Sweden, and they look after the estate or something. So I'm not entirely sure who they are, but they were some sort of foundation to do with art and culture, according to this, or something. They were formed to promote art and culture or something. I haven't got a clue. It must be a Swedish thing. The removal of Orphalos was itself controversial. Wilkes was ordered to find an acceptable way to remove the sculpture. He proposed blowing it up. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. On the 10th of December 2001, Nobel Day and the 100th anniversary of the Nobel Prize, and applied to the County Council for permission to do so. The County Council made a decision on the 7th, but kept it secret until the 10th of December, and by that time another artist, Ernest Billgren, had bought Omphalos from Wilkes and had requested that it not be damaged. How can he sell it? I don't understand, right? Let's put the micronational stuff aside for a minute. Let's just go on an art basis here. How can you sell something that is physically attached to land that he doesn't own? He's gone into a nature reserve. He's built this structure. So here are the structures. This is what he's built. There's this wooden thing, like some dodgy looking watchtower, and a smaller dodgy looking watchtower. And then there is this, I don't know, twisted looking sandcastle sculpture thing, like something out of some evil realm of dark Disney. I'm not sure. But he sold them, yet they don't belong to the land that they're on. I don't understand. I don't understand how you can sell them. I don't understand how you can just say, okay, yeah, we've just sold it. But apparently the new owner did not want it to be damaged. And in the early hours of the 9th of December, a crane boat was sent by DYKMA under contract from the Enforcement Administration to the site and removed the sculpture. So basically, is that the council just came along and took it? Yeah, at a cost. And then they billed that cost to him. Despite the new owner's request, the sculpture was damaged by handling. In response to this, the Enforcement Administration was satirically... I don't even know what the word that... I've never seen that word before in my life. Satirically... I don't know, who's declared to be the performance artist of the year. The Enforcement Administration was declared to be the performance artist of the year. I don't know what I'm reading. I'm really confused at what I'm reading here. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's probably because it's Swedish. I don't know. Maybe people from Sweden know, like, what DYKMA are and who the Crackpot Foundation are. The Crap Pot, or whoever it is, they'll know who these are. But for me, this is just so bizarre. And I sympathise. I laugh. But I do sympathise because we too have had these things happen to us. The difference is that we owned our land. So when our council came and removed our shed and stole all the tools from that shed and then sent us a letter to bill us for the removal of our own shed and tools, and then sent a letter to say that we couldn't reclaim those tools back or get our shed back because they had gone to a landfill, that was really insulting because it was our land and it was our shed, and that shed had tools of monetary value.
and importance to do the job of woodland management of which we were tasked by the same authorities that came and took our shed. So I kind of sympathise, but at the same time I don't, because again, you've rocked up at a nature reserve and you've just gone and built this stuff, and then you sold it, and then the council came along and they just removed it anyway. What happened to it then? Did the person that bought it, did they actually get it? Did they get it? Did they get it back? See, we need some context to this. Anyway, afterwards, Wilkes applied to the county council again, this time for permission to erect a memorial in the place that Orpheus stood. Permission was granted by the council to erect a monument no greater than 8 centimetres high. This was duly done, and the monument was inaugurated on the 27th of September. I'm flabbergasted. I cannot get my words out. I really do not know what is going on. The Assemble Neurobash. See, I don't know what this is. What is a Neurobash? I haven't got a clue what is going on. But they performed in Ladonia during the 10th anniversary celebrations in 2006, and in August 2022 it was announced that Ladonia would be hosting Microcon 2023 in Chicago. Why are you hosting Microcon in Chicago when you're in Sweden? Again, am I missing something? You're in Sweden, right? I'm sure it's Sweden. It's the Swedish government, so it's got to be. Okay. Let's see. Right, the government. The government of Ladonia is jointly led by a queen and a president. Then it's... Hold up. Hang on a second. This is a republic, is it not? Was this a republic? But it's got a queen, so it's a monarchy then, surely. But then they've got a president. A queen and a president. Is that like the UK where we've got like a king and a prime minister? I guess so. The president and vice president are elected triennially, while the queen, once crowned, reigns for life. As of 2018, the position of president is held by interim president, the president's old shoes. What? And the vice president position is vacant. I'm not surprised, to be fair, because it sounds like it's a hell of a job. It's pending the new elections in 2019. Well, we're 2022 now. No, we're not. We're 2023 now. So, how did that work out? Wilkes, the state secretary. Hold up. So Wilkes isn't... I just don't know what's going on. He's a state secretary now. He oversees many of the day-to-day operations of the microstate. Now we're a microstate. I thought we were a micronation. Including processing new citizenship applications and posting photos and news items to the landlord. Online newspaper. Yep, the cabinet ministers. I can't. I really have no idea what's going on. Many Ladonian ministries have artistic connotations and whimsical names. As of 2018, the Cabinet of Ladonia has voted to amend the constitution to create the position of Prime Minister. The Prime Minister candidates will be... What? Hold up. So we've got Prime Minister and a President. And a Queen. You're really not making this easy for yourselves, are you? The PM candidates will be nominated by and selected from current members of the Cabinet. The amendment abolishes the position. Okay, all right. Okay, I should have read more. And this move has made a way to prevent the election fraud that occurred in the previous election. Tell me more about this. There's dodginess happening in the Ladonian government by the looks of things. I really can't read any of that. I'm really not. I just can't. When it was created, Ladonia had no population. As of 2020, there are 22,858 Ladonian citizens from more than 50 countries. None of the citizens resides within Ladonia's borders, although there have been at least one resident citizen in the past. A comparison can be drawn between Ladonia accepting online citizenship applications and the e-residency of Estonia. This virtual residency program shows how established nations... I just can't be bothered. You can read it yourself if you want to. Nimis is a series of wooden sculptures...
the sculptures again. Situated along the coast, yeah, in the nature reserve, yeah, in the northern part, yeah, they are massive wooden, yeah, or okay, they've been constructed of driftwood, yeah. I don't really necessarily care much about it, but I'm pretty sure that this is what you got going for you. This is it from the bay. Some dodgy looking orc fortress. It looks like something Frodo and Samwise Gamgee would have to sneak past to get to Mordor, I think. It looks like it does need some sort of, I don't know, site coordinator or health and safety guy with some red tape to come round and actually... It does look like dodgy scaffolding. I'm not going to lie. Okay. There are two national anthems. One is composed by Grieve Jean Luth von Erichsen and is executed when a stone is thrown in the water. The other is composed by the Minister of Health, Thomas Matheson, and can be described as a tone poem on the development of Ladonian freedom. I don't know if they mean that their national anthem is actually the sound of a stone in water. Let's see if they've got a website, because honestly, the wiki has given me a headache. It's actually given me a headache. I really don't understand what's going on. Let me just read this bit here. Right. Capital, Wanton City. Official languages, English, Swedish, Latin, Norwegian, Danish, Finnish, German. Gotta have the German in there. It's gotta have the German. French. Constitutional monarchy. I thought we were in the it was a Republic of Ladonia. Have I missed something here? Why did I think this was the Royal Republic of Ladonia? Okay, so it's a Royal Republic of Ladonia. But the structure is monarch. The organisational structure is constitutional monarchy. Okay. They declared their establishment in 1996. They got 1 kilometre square. Okay. I'm going to have to see if they've got a website. Right, here we are. Ladonia. Ladonia, micronation, and aspirant state. We are built on freedom of speech and expression. That's good. That's good, because then you won't mind these micronational reviews that I do, because it's just me exercising my freedom of speech. We believe art, creativity, and open discussion are necessary components of society. Okay. What began as an effort to protect a sculpture is now 25 years later a nation of more than 28,000 non-resident citizens who share a desire for a free society where art and expression are valued and encouraged. I mean, in the Western world, is art and expression not valued and encouraged? I mean, we've got museums and galleries and whole things, universities and stuff completely dedicated to this. People are out there right now doing degrees in art. So, okay, you have a desire for something that I honestly feel is already there, is it not? I don't know anybody that discourages art and free expression. I don't know anybody that will say you shouldn't make music or you shouldn't paint pictures. I don't know anybody that thinks like that. By all means, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you say that they're necessary components of society as well. I mean, I can see what you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from. Just don't think they're necessarily necessary. You know? If you think about it, up until only a few, years back, nobody had headphones or YouTube or Spotify. I mean, go back a few years more, the radio didn't even play music. They had pirate radios very much out in the sea, like in boats and on old oil rigs and sea forts and stuff, to broadcast music. So realistically, if you were to go back further than that, the only music you would get would be one person that would travel around your medieval village as a bard singing at the festival or the May Day parade or some fancy count's birthday. So this day and age that we're in right now currently has more freedom for art and expression than any other time, especially when it comes to music and sort of museums, galleries and things like this, appreciating art. This day and age that we're in right now is like the height of that, is it not? I think if you were to look back, we are probably at a point now that the last time we were at this kind of high when it came to art and expression was probably back in ancient Greece and ancient Rome, when they had all their statues and marbles and, you know, all their lovely mosaics and stuff like this, and they had music and dance and all of that. Since then, we are now at the highest level of freedom for art and expression than we've ever been. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just I've just never heard anybody say you can't make music or you can't paint that picture. In fact, apparently these days anything classes as art, and some of these galleries are dedicated to literal just blank canvases or specks of paint thrown at the canvas. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, they're really letting anybody be an artist these days. So maybe it's because of you guys. Maybe it's because of the 28,000 non-resident citizens of Ladonia. You've made all that possible. And to be fair, if there is 28,000 people out there that have all rallied together in order to give us these museums and these galleries and stuff like that, then hats off to you. Honestly, hats off to you. And I'm not going to deny that there are some places around the world that don't have free expression when it comes to art and stuff like this. As I say, in the Western world, it's very much, you know, anybody can be an artist. You get encouraged to do that. And I'm not going to deny that maybe like in North Korea, it's completely bloody different. But you're not an advocate for North Korea. You're not an advocate for getting art and exposure out there that I've seen so far anyway. To that, it's just basically you want to stand for free expression of art, but we have that in a majority of the world. Will we see Ladonia and their 28,000 people going around the world spreading awareness about art? I want to see them go to North Centennial Island to spread the awareness of free expression and art. I'd love to see that. And and if they are going out there in an outreach thing, then fair play. Honestly, I'll eat my hat. If they're out there right now sharing this expression and this free love of music and art and sculptures and all of this stuff, then fair enough. Then fair enough. But what I see is 28,000 people who think it's okay for someone to rock up one day, destroy a nature reserve, a beach in a nature reserve, and put his own artistic expression into what otherwise would have been something that is protected and was supposed to be protected and kept that way because it's a nature reserve for nature. I'm not entirely convinced, but I can become a citizen or I can support their cause. Oh, count 29,001 citizens, 100% art and free speech. 125 ministries. Now, when you say 100% art and free speech, right? Now, I'm just going to play devil's advocate. We're talking about racism here. We're talking about sexism, because that's free speech. See, as a micronational leader, I have this thing where I promote the ideas of free speech, yes, but there needs to be restrictions and limitations to what is, you know, what is deemed acceptable in your community. Now, again, just playing devil's advocate, when you say 100% free speech, that could mean anything can open the doors to any interpretation whatsoever and allow anybody to say whatever they want to anybody, about anybody in any way, horrible, nasty, vile, or otherwise, because that's what you promote. Also, 100% art, what does that class as? What is your... Because, I mean, there are some things that I draw the line at. There are some images that I would say do not really come under the whole that's just art bracket, you know? We're not going to go into details, but I just think saying 100% art and free speech, I mean, it's a bit of a weird one. 125 ministries of what exactly? We've just taken a left turn and turned up at Hogwarts now. Ladonia's purpose. Ladonia, the micronation, provides a national identity for people who believe in free speech and free expression. While we do not have strictly defined borders, our citizens bond and interact with each other on the internet, and sometimes in person, in all parts of the world. We seek to challenge the validity and necessity of the traditional nation state in this post-national era. Okay, at least you've got straight to the point and you're openly honest about it. Building a nation is hard work. Here are some committees currently making Ladonia grow. Microcon 2023. Is that a committee? I don't know. Microcon 2023. Ladonia has been awarded the hosting responsibilities for the 2023 Microcon. Yeah. It will be held in the US and the EU. How is that even possible? They just make this stuff up. It literally is. Every time I see Microcon, all I hear in my head is con. It's just a con. I don't understand. I really don't get it. Maybe it's because I've never been, but then again, I never plan to. If it ever came to England, maybe. But there is no chance whatsoever you're going to get me spending all of that money to go and stand in a room with a bunch of people, potentially that I've already pissed off doing reviews on their micronations. Because I just see it as a waste of time. And again, which one do you go to here? They're holding it in the USA and the EU. Are people going to both? Who has that money just to say, let's just go travel around the world, meeting random people with their imaginary countries?
It just seems to me that people that are spending all of this money to do all of these extravagant holidays and dress up, play fairy tale, they could use that money for self-sufficiency, self-reliance, buying land, growing crops, actually building a nation, a micronation, a mini country. I mean, I just don't understand. It's like Microcon seems to be the end result. Like, we'll get to Microcon and then we're a real micronation, and then that's it. That's all they aspire for. That is it. I've said this before, I'll say it again. That is their highest aspiration, and their highest achievement is attending Microcon. And all of that money spent on that could actually be spent on doing some actual good in the world, instead of just a load of pompous people with medals and awards and sashes and ribbons and tiaras all in a room, talking about how amazing that their country is, that they've never been to, don't own, have defaced or just basically ruined and just wasted the opportunity when it comes to micronationalism. I just don't understand. I really don't. Never have. Hence the micronational reviews.
Ye old souvenir shop. The Ministry of Paraphernalia has... The Ministry of Paraphernalia has created an online means of selling souvenirs and Ladonia items. You can buy the products here. We're going to check that out in a minute. The election 2024. The Home Secretary is responsible for preparing the voting systems and for ensuring a secure and fair election. Were they the same Home Secretary that was in place before when you had election fraud? Or is this a new Home Secretary? Because you might want to look into that. You got rid of the President and Vice President and abolished that, changed it for the Prime Minister. Maybe the fault wasn't with the President. Maybe the fault was with the Home Secretary. You might want to look into that. Oh, we got a picture here. No context again. I'm guessing these people are part of Ladonia, micronational leaders. Do we recognise anybody? Not off the top of my head. I mean, some of these people don't even have shoes. In fact, none of these people look like they've got shoes. It's because they've spent all their money travelling around the world to go to these microcons. They can't even afford shoes now, bless them. Okay, so that's them at the structure. I'm guessing this is kind of just like microcon stuff. That's where they are. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, right there. Basically, that's like up in... the north of Europe, isn't it? Northern Europe. More than 28,000 non-resident citizens. You're just repeating the same information we've already read. Visited but uninhabited. See, micronational rules state that you need to have at least one citizen or one resident residing at the territory at all times for it to be classed as a micronation. It says a permanent residency or a permanent population on site to be a micronation. That's just like, it's up there. It's like rule 101, like having a flag and having a boundary line. It's just kind of like a physical territory. It's one of the rules. Ladonia is situated on 1 square kilometre of land. That's plenty of place to have one person at least. Or maybe they do, they just don't want to tell you because they'll get in trouble. You can't get there by car. You have to walk, look. Or you go by sea. I suppose you could just rock up in a boat. Like that guy there. In his yellow dinghy at the back there. I say dinghy. His little sailboat. While they're rocking on the rocks. People love Ladonia because it is a system of government that they chose. It's not an accident of birth. We share a vision for the world that we want to build together. Okay, I'll give you that. Carolyn, Queen of Ladonia. But have we got more information about the stuff that we've got going on in the micronation itself? The history of Ladonia timeline. Timeline of Ladonian events. A country can be claimed as a country when it is in control of its territory. But you're not, though, are you? Because there's nobody there. Again, it's the same with West Antarctica. If I turned up to Ladonia, I could put a Waywoodian flag. I would move a couple of Waywoodians onto the territory, because a lot of our Waywoodians are off-gridders, live in tents, live in vans, you know. Find one, say, come on, you're going to go take over Ladonia. Off they'll go to Ladonia. Pitch up. Now it's mine. Now it's mine. Because there's nobody there. You haven't claimed it as a country that you can control. You've got no control. In 1980, he starts building the sculpture. In 82, it's discovered. The council convicts him, but then he sells it anyway for $1,500 US. And the Court of Appeal in the case of Nimitz overturns. So did he sell it to kind of throw it off with the courts? Did he kind of like throw a spanner in the works there? I don't know. Sabotage. Vandals torched Nimitz and the flames destroy 2/3 of the piece. See, that was another thing. Like, it does look like a big bonfire. It does look like a big bonfire. It'd be very tempting for a pyromaniac just to light a match on that. His conviction for obstructing the passable is upheld by the Court of Appeals, and he has to pay a fine of what? $2.50 for each count. He was charged with 40 counts. So $100 basically he had to pay. Okay. In 1991 he starts work on the stone book arcs in reinforced concrete. He is soon reported to the police. The police are inspecting the crime. Dun dun dun. Took him a whole year though, didn't it? He's convicted for building it and he's fined $1,000 US. Wow. The Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court settled the ruling of the District Court. So once he's paid it, does that mean that time is spent and he can now just leave it there? Evidently not, because they come and took one of them, didn't they, with a crane? 1997, the milestone of 1,000 citizens had been reached. The first election was held. The election was to decide on a system of government. Okay. You can read all of this. The website link will be in the bottom. I'm just skimming through right now. I just want to see where they are up to date, really. I mean, they are holding elections, so that's something. Where are we? I'm just going to scroll straight. Here we are. 2021, so 2 years ago. The 40th anniversary of Nimitz was celebrated in Ladonia at Nimitz. A celebration jump was performed by the Minister of Art and Jump, Frederick Larson. The Minister of Art and Jump. Is that... what? I don't understand. Jump. I don't know why that's in there. He's a Minister of Jumping. Frederick Larson. He's the minister that jumps about in the name of art. His speeches were given by the Minister of Art and Jump, yep, the Prime Minister Franz Brood, and the State Secretary, who is also the artist who created Nimitz and the founder of Ladonia, Lars Vilks. 3rd of October, Ladonia's founder and State Secretary Lars Vilks was tragically killed in an auto accident in Sweden. Oh my goodness, really? Wow. Ladonians around the world mourned and resolved to continue on to preserve... Do you know what? That's actually shocked me. I did not expect that. Wow. Okay. Well, damn. My condolences. Oh, we've got the government. I kind of don't want to do any more now. I feel really bad. Right, let's just see what they've got here. Right, so let's go on and see what the Queen's doing. The Queen of Ladonia. Her Majesty the Queen, Caroline of Ladonia. Her Majesty the Queen. Why is she the Queen, firstly? Is she the artist's wife? Her Majesty the Queen Caroline is the head of state in Ladonia. She was elected by the Cabinet of Ministers and proclaimed Queen on the 2nd of June 2011, the Ladonian National Day. A coronation took place at Nimis in September 2011. The Queen is the eldest of 3 children born to American parents and grew up near Chicago, Illinois. She maintains a primary residence in the USA with her husband, His Royal Highness Prince David. So, how has she become the Queen? How is she the Queen? Well, I get that they voted for her, but why? Why not just have the Prime Minister or the President? And do you vote for a Queen? Like, were there other kings and queens available? Or was she just anointed? I don't understand. The Queen is the constitutional monarch and the head of state in Ladonia and exercises her sovereign authority in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and legislation. She represents... But how did she become the Queen? I don't know. There she is. She's the Queen of Ladonia. Queen Caroline. Oh, what is this? Awards and honours shown in order given, not presidents. So, what? The Principality or what? So they've given you badges and awards, I'm guessing. I don't know. There's a long list of micronations here, isn't there, that can potentially be useful for us as reviewing. The Principality of Carinthia, the Grand Duchy of Flandrensis, Kingdom of Dora. Why can't you just pick a normal name? Why does it have to be so bloody hard to pronounce all the time? Oh, there's West Arctica. We've done them. Kingdom of Ratatouille. Kingdom of Ratatouille. The Empire of Osdenise. Blah, blah, blah. Principality of the Grand Duchy of West Arctica. Yeah, we've had you. See, again, he can't help it, can he? Our Travis. He has to be in there twice. He has to make a big deal about things. Anyway, the photos. Got some nice photos here, but I just wish they had some sort of context to them. I mean, the Queen looks nice. She looks, I want to say kind. Like she'd actually listen. Yeah, I mean, I don't get bad vibes from her. She doesn't look like an evil queen from like Narnia or anything. Do you know what I mean? She looks alright. Maybe somebody you could trust with a country. Or if they have got a gallery. They must have a gallery, surely, because we're talking about art here, right? They've definitely got a shop. Let's see what they're doing in the shop. Souvenir shop. Oh. Where is the shop? I don't understand. There is no shop. That's a disappointment. Ladonia in the news from around the world. Fascinating world of micronations history. Leaders of 3 unrecognized nations share why they formed their self-proclaimed state. Sealand, Ladonia, and Asgardia. Who are these? I know who Sealand is, obviously, and we're doing Ladonia now, but... Oh, we got a video. Can we enlarge it?
Molossia is the independent sovereign country, which is...
We've done Molossia. Where is Ladonia gone?
Located within and fully surrounded by the United States. We are a micronation.
Just going to say, going back to my Molassian video, I told you that they were in a neighbourhood and they weren't in the middle of the desert. I bloody well knew it. I am not.
Nation, which means it's
I'm not going to waste my time watching that really, because it's not really useful to my review. But I may type Ladonia into YouTube. Oh, talking of which, there is that YouTube there. I'll do that in a minute. I just kind of wanted to see if they had a gallery or national symbols and currency. I was hoping for a gallery, or at least a shop. The Ladonian flag, also known as the Glorious Green, was conceptually designed by Swedish artist Leif Erikson in 1997 and standardized by Henrik Longren in February 2008. You'll have to excuse me if I get your pronunciations wrong for the words or names that you have, but it is what it is. Now, for a micronation that loves art, you could have been a bit more artistic with the flag, couldn't you? But the flag is a green field with a green cross. The background and the cross have the same colour, which is expressed in sRGB 01440. I don't know why. I don't know what that means. The flag is 13 by 21 units in head and length. What units? Centimetres? Millimetres? Feet? Yards? Ugh. Why did you choose green? On physical flags, the stitching, no one cares. Nobody cares where the stitching is on a flag. Nobody looks at a flag and goes, I'm not getting that flag. I don't want to support that micronation because their stitching is off. No one ever has. Nobody ever will. I just wanted to know why you chose green. And why is it green? It's just no context. Official coat of arms, which is the overweight dragon, the golden apple and the heart. The coat of arms of Ladonia was designed by Vera Porrad, the Minister of Graphic Design. In 1996, it is used in the administration and government of the country, appearing on coins and in official documents and websites. They also appear on the products and goods of royal warrant holders. The usage of the coats of arms is regulated by Ladonian Law Act 1997-02, which says that in commercial activities, the coats of arms, the flag, or any other official insignia of Ladonia may not be used in a trademark or other. I don't care, blah 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 blah. But why have you chosen it? You got all these terms and conditions against it, but there's no information on it. We chose the dragon because it's strong. The golden apple represents this. The heart means that. What it doesn't. You just. The original arms of Ladonia do not strictly adhere to the established rules of heraldry. The motto is not required to appear. I don't care. There are two national anthems, but there isn't really. Their currency, basically printed pieces of paper. And that's it. You're losing me big time. Big time. There's no gallery. And there's no shop that you can actually access. Right, let's go see what YouTube has to offer. Right, so I didn't find a Ladonia YouTube channel as of yet, but I did find Vilk's, Vilk's YouTube, and it's got the Ladonia National Anthem on it. So, here we go. See, that is deceiving because it's either the sound of the stone being thrown in the water, and that's solely what it is. But then you've got the woman singing in the background. What's she singing? Because she's singing something. I don't understand. And again, just like the flag that is green, just green, that is your national anthem. Now, when it comes to freedom of art and expression, you seem to be very restricted and dull. I mean, from a micronation perspective,
You have a community of people that are all artists or want to, you know, have that freedom of expression when it comes to art and stuff, which is music and things like this. But where you have an opportunity micronationally to be creative and artistic and use that music creativity to make a national anthem, you haven't. And where you could use so many different things for your flag and so many different colors and so many different ideas that you could have collectively collected and created something amazing from it, again, you haven't. Like, your micronation isn't promoting the idea of art and free expression, if I'm being honest.
So he has on his YouTube got Ladonia and Nimis from November 2010. And a couple of other videos here about it, but it's not micronational. I mean, let's just have a little look at it. For people that claim to like art and creativity, they really have neglected the musical side of things in this, because the music that they are choosing to put with these videos, or at least Vilk's, God rest his soul, the music he's chosen to put on here, honestly, it's enough to give you a headache. This is actually making me feel nauseous. It's actually making me feel like I'm watching a trailer for some thriller that's coming up in the cinema. Like, do you know what I mean? They thought they were alone. They thought they were untouchable. But they didn't know that hiding in the foundations of the wooden fortress was an evil troll. Ah! All right, that's enough of that. I have found a Republic of New Ladonia, but I'm not entirely sure who these people are. Go on a bit of a tangent here.
Rasmus Nilsson was sitting at his desk, alone, browsing Wikipedia. I finally found a way to poison the whole school, he said, and laughed hysterically.
I don't think that's anything to do with Ladonia itself, is it? I guess we're done then.
What benefit is there to us?
I really don't know why I do these reviews, because I always come away with more questions than's been answered. Because I was really into this to begin with. I was really into it to begin with because they were up against the authorities. They wanted to protect their artwork and stuff like this. And I kind of can get on board with that. But micronationally speaking, if we're going to look at micronational side of stuff, I don't think a micronation is the best way to demonstrate what they're trying to do. I don't think they're claiming it as a micronation is beneficial, because they're not doing it as a micronation. They're doing it as wanting to protect, I guess, a pile of wood and a dodgy looking sandcastle. I don't understand the premise of it, because if they wanted to live there, if they were claiming the land, if they were claiming the space, if they moved into the space, then that would make sense, but they don't want to. It is just for fun. The Queen herself, although looks very capable of running a micronation, lives in America. So she's not there presently. Like I said, If I got a boat and me and a few of the Waywoodians jumped on it, we sailed over to Denmark, between Denmark and Sweden there, where they are situated on the coast. They've shown us where it is. We'll see it because it's a big, massive, tower. We'll rock up, put a flag on there, move in. What could they do? What would they do? This would be an interesting thing. Maybe they'd send their citizens to come and reclaim it. But I do find it's the same with West Arctica. It's the same as any micronation that can't be in the physical place at any one time as a physical person. If you can't do that, or you risk somebody coming along and taking that territory from you, it can't be a micronation. It can't be yours. Well, it could, but it's very fragile, isn't it? It's a very fragile place to be. Don't get me wrong. They have got their flag. They don't have a national anthem. They don't really have a lot going for them. The flag itself is a load of crap, if I'm being honest. I mean, micronationally speaking, I understand. I have respect for the guy. He's built himself this art. They want to express themselves freely through art and that expression to do so. Yes, I get it. I understand that. I'm not arguing that. But what you really are looking at is some guy that went onto private or government land that was a nature reserve and built these structures. That's not his land. So, I mean, you can't really sympathise with him, can you? It's like with West Arctica, who want to just rock up to some random penguin habitat or ice cap and just build a research centre. What gives you the authority to do that? Like, you've built this in a nature reserve, and I would argue that potentially it would make a great home for wildlife in nature, and I'm sure there are birds that love it, and I'm sure that there are critters and things that live in it, and that's great. But you've still gone into a nature reserve and disturbed the balance of things. And not only that, you've also encouraged, hundreds of people, thousands of people to go there and walk through that area. I don't know the area. It could be a national park that has pathways and places like this that are situated, so that people can walk through the nature reserve without harming anything. But considering as you weren't found for 2 years, I'm assuming that you did just build that on the beach where there was a fully functional ecosystem before. So at what point does your art or your freedom to express yourself come at a cost of the local landscape, the environment, the natural ecosystem of things? I mean, you brought cement in. You started just cementing stuff up. I mean, it's a conflict, isn't it? It's conflicting. If it was your own land, fully supportive of that, because it's your land and you want to build that and you want to do this and you want to do that on your land and build a micronation and stuff like that, and I can support that. I can, and I would give you points for that. But I can't support somebody micronationally who doesn't own the land. It's not their territory. They don't have a resident or a population there. Like, they've not achieved anything micronationally beyond a flag and throwing a stone in the river, or a lake, or wherever it is that you've thrown that stone in. I mean, I don't know. I mean, micronationally, I just don't think it can be classed as one. I'm sorry, I'm just saying it. I just don't think it can. And that then brings us to what benefit they are to their own people. And I suppose realistically to their own people, it gives them that sense of inspiration. It gives them hope. It gives them that kind of, I don't know, the same feeling I imagine people get when they go to galleries and people that queue up outside, like, galleries to go and see things. When you go to the Louvre and you have to queue up outside the Louvre in Paris. You do so because you love art. So I guess the benefit it is to their citizens is that they get to support that art project. And I guess in a way that is actually a better benefit than most people that we've seen out there. I mean, what they are actually offering is actually right there on the tin. Like, it's not being sugar-coated. It's not saying it's doing this when it's not. It is basically what it says it is. It's an art project, and people that love art or want to support that art can. So I guess in that way, in that perspective, that benefit is there. So there is a benefit if you're into that thing, and you want to support that kind of thing, I guess. A benefit to the outside world, I'd say that it's an eyesore. I'd say that it looks like some weird twisted pirate shanty, health hazard. I mean, I don't know if it's detrimental to the environment or not, but I can go on a hunch and say that bringing cement into places like the beach really isn't a good idea in that sense, because you're just creating more problems than it's worth. I don't know what it was like before you started putting all of these structures up or built this art. I don't know what it was like before then. But I can go on a guess that it was probably a fully functional ecosystem before you turned up and did that. Whether or not you've helped it or hindered it, I don't know. But I don't know if it's actually a real benefit to the outside world whatsoever. I really don't. I'm sorry. No, I can't say it is. And what benefit is it to us as a micronation, Wayward or the Imperial Union? Nothing. Zilch, not a damn thing. Firewood, I suppose we could rock up there and we could just loot the place and take all the wood and we could use that for a winter's worth of fuel, I guess. That's probably all it's really worth. And that's it, really, benefit-wise. There is none. Not for Wayward, not for community. You could go on holiday there, I suppose, but then could you? Because you can't stay there. I mean, you'd have to stay off-site somewhere. And if you wanted to visit the Queen while visiting the country, you'd have to go to a different country in a different country from the country that you're in that's in a different country. I don't know how it works. But let's not lose all faith and lose all hope for Ladonia, because we've got the cool rating, and the cool rating is basically designed to I guess, to give them credit where credit's due. And it doesn't have to be micronational or what benefit they are. It's just how cool they are. And I think it's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I personally feel that, micronationalism aside and what benefits you can get from it aside, I think it's pretty cool that some guy dared to go out there and do something so extravagant, so crazy, so extreme when it came to his creative expression. I think that that's pretty cool. I think that it's nice to see when people not only step outside of the box, but they also live outside that box. You know, they can think outside of it, they can act outside of it, they can create outside of it, and that's what this guy has done. And although he didn't form the micronation, I don't think, the micronation around it, I think, represents that kind of do what you want, like. And their motto, again, I can't remember what it was word for word, was along the lines of literally just let them be, let people do what they want, let them get on with it. And I like that as well. I think that's kind of like a cool attitude to have. I think that's a pretty good attitude to have when it comes to doing these kinds of things. And I think it is quite cool that they've got this long-standing structure and the council have come around to some degree. And it does seem like, there is an element of love and respect worldwide for this whole micronation or, structure, art, or whatever. And I think personally, as micronations go, or even just as an art project goes, I think it's pretty cool. And I think we're going to probably put it up there at a 6. I think it's pretty good to give the credit to the person that's put so many years into building it. In fact, I think just on that alone, we should bump him up to a 7. I think seven's a good number for that. As far as cool things go, it's the coolest art / micronation project that we've seen. I think it's the only one that I think we've seen that has actually been exactly as they said on the tin. This is what we're doing. This is who we are. And I think that's cool in itself as well. They're not micronationally sound. They don't have a lot going on in residency or population, community, trade, agriculture, stuff like this. But what they are doing is inspiring people. They are keeping art alive. They're keeping that creativity out there and trying to keep it free. And I can respect that. So I think a 7 will suffice for that. So that's a 7 for Ladonia. And that's it for today's Micronational review. So if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think that I've been a bit too harsh, let me know. If you think that there are some things that I've missed, let me know. If there are any Micronations out there that you want me to do a review on, let me know. And I will see you next time in another video where we go over Micronational reviews, things Waywoodian, other bits and bobs here and there as we continue to watch our little acorn grow into its mighty oak tree. Love and peace.